morning. Hi, my name is Julie. Welcome to a general yoga class for Gilda's Club of Rochester. I'm glad that you are joining me either this morning or whatever point in the day that you tune into this video. Please remember, don't do any movements that are painful or feel very uncomfortable. Please don't do anything that your doctors or healthcare providers have told you not to do. Honor your body today, do what works, and leave the rest behind. Again, my name is Julie. Welcome to yoga class. Let's start by taking a comfortable seat. Sounds kind of odd, comfortable seat on the floor, but do the best that you can. I have a big cushion that I sit on. You could use a blanket, you could sit in a chair if you like, whatever works for you. The point here is to sit up with a tall spine. So rather than tucking the tailbone underneath us, we lift up. It's like I take the flesh of my back end and I kind of pull it straight back behind me. So if I did have a tail at the end of my tailbone, it would be curling up back behind me, not tucking underneath. This helps you raise up. You can feel if you lift one side and then the other, it's like you're lifting up an armpit, kind of stretching out. As you do this, as you sit up tall, you'll feel your abdominals, your core muscles back and front engage. That's an awesome thing. We want to balance the top of us over the bottom of us. So find where your shoulders are, roll them up, down, and back a few times if you can. Just feel how they move, where they're situated. And then let's bring the shoulder joints forward. You'll notice that this rounds the spine. It's as if you're leaning the body in, gravity is pulling you down and forward. And then let's take these shoulder joints and move them back so they line up over your hip joints. Think about the collarbone spreading wide across the front of the chest, and then the shoulders lowering away from the ears. Reach up through the tops of the ears to bring the chin more neutral, and relax the hands down on the thighs. Spine feels long. Your sit bones underneath your gluteus pressing down into the cushion that you're sitting on, or to the floor, or in the chair, as you reach up long through the tops of the ears and the crown of the head. You can close the eyes or leave them slightly open just for a little beginning breath. So yoga breathing is actually a belly breath or a diaphragmatic breath. As we inhale the breath, the belly softens, the chest widens. As we exhale the breath, the rib cage on each side moves back down into position and the belly draws in. Just focus on where you're feeling the breath. If you can inhale and exhale through your nostrils, it'll help you focus on the feeling of breath a little bit. That's okay if you can't do that today. Just notice what you feel with each breath. Stay attuned to the sensations in your body. And for some folks, this type of breathing feels odd or uncomfortable. This is a more natural way to breathe. Inhale, release the belly. Feel the rib cage widen from side to side. Exhale, the rib cage moves back down into position and the belly draws in. Just focusing on that for a few breaths. When our mind starts spinning, anxiety's taking over, and we're reliving things in our brain or worrying about things to come, or hanging out in the past, it's a great idea to sit with your breath, whether you're lying down, seated in a chair, sitting on the floor, and just notice the physical sensations of the breath. Even if you only do it for 5 or 10 breaths, because we all get distracted, then come on back. It's in the coming back from the distraction that you create that greater sense of focus. Some folks like to count. They want to count in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Some folks envision the tide rolling in or the tide rolling out. I like to think of the visual of a hammock. With each inhalation, the hammock gently sways out. And each exhalation, the hammock sways back in. It feels to me as if I'm resting my mind on on the wave of my breath. My mind doesn't have to think of a whole bunch of stuff at once. Just focusing on the movement of the breath in the body. This is very powerful stuff. It can help reduce anxiety and all that goes with it. Issues with blood pressure and cortisol in your system. Just simply sitting and focusing gently on the breath, just a little bit each day, can have great health benefits. And you can do this anywhere and at any time. You don't need anything special. Take a moment to focus now on something that you're very thankful for. A person, a place, a thing, a pet. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be really small today. Something that you're very thankful and grateful for. And let that feeling flood in that heart area, in that chest area. Take some breaths in gratitude. And then go ahead and open the eyes. Awesome. I keep a gratitude journal, and I have for years. So it's just a little notebook. Some people do it at night before they go to bed. I tend to do it in the morning when I wake up for the day before. And I just jot down the things that I'm grateful for. Whether they're big things or small things. What they do is that helps rewire your brain to look for the positives moving forward. So if you can keep that habit for a while, kind of turns that automatic thinking of always going to the negative, to the bad things, and ruminating on those. If you keep a gratitude journal, any kind of notebook will do. You just jot down the things you're thankful for each day or grateful for. Something small like, flowers, or petting the dog, or talking to a good friend on the phone, or just something very basic. Every little thing counts, and it kind of helps us keep positive. So in your sitting posture, whether you're sitting up on height or whether you're sitting on the floor, make sure you're as comfortable as you can be. Your legs can be out in front of you as long as the knees are slightly bent and you're not tucking your tailbone down underneath you. Rolling the shoulders back, inhaling and exhaling. Let's take a big in-breath, lift the palms, and exhale the hands down. And just a few more times. Inhale up, and exhale the hands down. Nice and easy. There's no speed here. We're not trying to go a certain speed, and that's okay. Pressing the hands together kind of brings together the right and left sides of the brain. A lot of nerve endings in the hands. We bring them together. Nice, easy. No big pressure here. Inhale and exhale. And then one more time with the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Just do that a few times. Do that as often as you need to throughout your day. It's so wonderful thing. Place one palm on the back of the opposite hand, and inhale, reach the palms up towards the ceiling. Make sure that the head is free and loose so you don't feel like you're squeezing your shoulders up. Inhale here, exhale, bend the elbows. Cactus or goalpost position. Inhale, lift. I had seen a lot of saguaro cactus when visiting family in Arizona a while back, and I found them very scary. So I tend to think of this as goalpost arms. Very tall, very large, those saguaro cactus, and we went into a restaurant and then it rained. So when we came out from the restaurant, exhale, inhale, beautiful. The cactus was all swollen up and bigger than it was when I went in, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. So, I like to think of these as goalpost arms. And again, inhale and exhale. Gently bring them down. Oh boy, you can really feel there's any tension in your shoulders. With your fingertips in what we call potted palms, so on the floor, on your blanket, wherever you're sitting on, adjacent to the hips. Inhale, right arm up and over. It's okay if the elbow bends, doesn't have to be anything special here, or if you can't lift your arm all the way up, just breathe here. Turn the heart. If you're side bending to the left, turn the heart gently to the right. And then switch. Inhale up, exhale over. Got to keep a little strength in that belly. It's okay if the arm doesn't go all the way up, but just try not to turn the heart down towards the floor. If you're side bending to the right, the heart turns gently to the left. And do that a few more times. Inhale and exhale. Oof. You can feel the stretch from the armpit all the way to the hip. And there's a lot of different ways that people teach yoga. They'll say, oh, glue your hips down to the floor. You don't need to do that. If a hip lifts up when you're side bending, it's okay. All right? Just keep a little firmness in the belly and back area. So you can still feel that you have some length on the sides of your waist when you are seated tall. Inhale and exhale. Go at your own speed. Doesn't have to be the same speed I'm going. Inhale and exhale. Great. Shoot a little bit of twisting here. Rolling the shoulders back. Keeping a nice tall spine when we twist. So imagine lifting your lowest ribs up away from the top of your pants without poking them forward, lifting straight up. Inhale here. Exhale, turn to the left. Right arm goes toward that left knee. The left hand behind you can go to the floor or to the back of the hip, whatever works for you. Stay nice and tall to the tops of the ears. Beautiful. Each exhale draws the belly in, increases the twist. Inhale, center, and exhale to the other side. You can look that back over the shoulder if you feel good in the neck and the chin and the head. Everything is parallel to the ground. Inhale, center, and exhale. If you want to make this a little bigger, you can inhale to center with both arms up and exhale to twist. So you rest a hand on a knee. It doesn't matter which one. You don't have to pull or push to torque the twist to make it bigger. You just gently place the hand down. If it's too much, take your arms overhead. You can bring them to cactus position, or gold pose position, scary cactus position, or gold pose position. And center. Great job. You can always do as many of those as you like. I'd like to take it down to the floor so we can do a little bit of work for our back and our hips, okay? So I'm going to come off of my cushion, bring myself down to the floor. We're going to work on a little bit of strength here. As we come down onto our backs on the floor, please lower the elbows and then gently bring the back down one vertebrae at a time. So always take your time. You can hold on to your legs as you come down. So lying here, both knees bent, both feet on the floor. Inhaling and then exhaling, drawing a knee in towards your chest, holding onto the back of the thigh instead of pulling on the front of the kneecap maybe, and circle your foot one direction and the other. Beautiful. And back down. Inhaling here, exhaling, bring the other knee in towards your chest, circle the ankle, one direction and the other. And release. So as we do these, you can, inhale the arms up overhead and exhale the knee in towards your chest. And inhale the arms overhead as the foot goes down and bring the other knee in towards your chest. So you have this option of bringing the arms overhead, but you don't have to. You can keep them by your sides. So let's stretch both legs out long now, nice and gentle. Ooh, 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 ooh. You can kind of alternate the bending of a knee, a little bit of a back and forth there. Notice how the back feels. Notice how the lower back lifts away from the floor. If you want, you can reach the arms overhead as well. Give yourself a long stretch. Whee! And press out through the bottom of my feet, through the heels and the balls of my feet. Spread my toes a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale, keeping the left leg on the floor. Bring the right knee in towards the chest. Think about that left leg. Keep it connected to the ground. Try not to let the left toes turn out to the left. Let the left inner thigh roll down towards the floor. When we're ready, we're going to switch sides, straightening out the right leg. You can inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, bring the left knee in, keeping the right leg nice and straight and connected to the floor. Right toes point towards the ceiling, right inner thigh rolling down. We're going to do this a few more times. Inhale up. And exhale. And inhale up. And exhale. Nice stretch, front and back of the hips at the same time. One more time each side. Inhaling and exhaling. It doesn't matter how close to your chest your knee comes, not at all. And release down. Let's bend both knees, both feet on the floor. Can we gently bring both knees in towards our chest? You can do one at a time, hands behind the thighs. And just rock a little bit. Again, it's not about bringing your knees towards your nose. It's making some circles or moving from side to side, whatever feels good on your back. Got a lot of muscles in the back of the hips and in the lower part of the back. It's okay to massage them along the floor. That's a good thing. And I'll place both feet on the floor. So, bringing the right knee in towards the chest, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. You can hold behind the right thigh. Again, you can move your ankle, your toes a little bit. And it's okay if that knee doesn't completely straighten. Just reach towards the ceiling through the heel of the foot and the ball of the foot with the toes spreading. Just see how that feels.
If you'd like, you can inhale and bend the knee in towards the chest, and exhale, straighten the leg away from you. Inhale, knee in towards the chest. Exhale, that's fine. You can do that. Great job. While you're holding on to the back of this right thigh, you can extend the left leg long on the floor. You'll notice those left toes want to turn out to the left. So think about that inner left thigh rolling down towards the floor faster than the outer right thigh and the outer left thigh. Again, this does not have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. It's just a way for you to open up these muscles in the back of your hips and the back of your legs. Then we're going to bend that left knee, put the left foot back on the floor, bend the right knee, place the right foot back on the floor. Bringing the left knee in towards the chest now, extend the left leg up, hands behind the left thigh, or I have really big thighs, so sometimes it's hard for me to get my hands behind my thighs. You can use a small towel or a strap if that's easier for you. And you can wiggle your foot a little bit, move your ankle, wiggle your toes. And then extend out through that leg. It's okay if the knee doesn't unbend. Extend out through the leg, pressing through the heel and the ball of the foot, spreading the toes. If and when you're ready, once you feel comfortable with this particular stretch, and again, you can inhale, bend the knee close to the chest, exhale, straighten the left knee. Inhale and exhale. You can kind of get yourself used to this movement here. Inhale, bring the knee towards the chest, bending it. Exhale, straighten the leg. And then, once you're holding this leg, you can extend the right leg long on the floor. Again, those right toes might want to turn out to the right. Keep that right inner thigh drawing down towards the ground. Stretching the front of the right hip and the back of the left hip. Of course, the back of that left leg. We're going to work on these together in a moment. It's going to be a little bit different, okay? So go ahead, inhale and exhale, bend the left knee, place the left foot on the floor, bend the right knee, right foot on the floor. Okay, so let's bring both knees in towards our chest once again. And this time with our hands behind our thighs, let's stretch both legs up towards the sky. And you can have a little bend in the knees, just gently holding on to the back of your thighs, but reaching up to the bottom of the feet so you can feel some strength in these legs, some working going on here. As you draw those toes down towards your chest, you can feel the calf stretching. You can squeeze a little bit through the muscles of the front of the thighs as you stretch the back of the thighs. So let's talk about our torso a little bit. Tuck the chin slightly. Inhale here, and as you exhale, draw into the belly and gently lift the torso off the floor. It's only a few inches, and you're not leading with your head, neck, or shoulders. You're leading with that feeling of drawing the belly in. Good, 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 good. Inhale here, exhale, bring your torso back down, bend your knees. Oof. Great job. Let's straighten those legs again. Inhale here, exhale, straighten. Inhale here, exhale, draw the belly in gently. To bring the torso off the floor, it's like you're drawing your lower ribs towards your hip bones. Your head and shoulders are along for the ride, so they don't need to lead. And then when you're ready, inhale here, and exhale, bend the knees, come on back down. Let's add on to that a little bit. Inhale here, exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale here, exhale, drawing the belly in. Great, so even if you're only lifting your torso an inch or so off the floor, that's fine. Let's add on to this as we come down, a happy baby stretch. Widen the legs apart, bend both knees, bring your torso back to the floor for happy baby. So this feels like a squat. You have a hand behind each thigh, you widen the knees apart, and the bottom of the feet are facing the ceiling. It's kind of like you and Lionel Richie are going to dance on the ceiling. And you're just holding on to the back of the legs, widening the knees as far as feels comfortable for you. Feet are nice and flat. Just imagine like you're squatting on the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten both legs again. Inhale here. Exhale, gently lift the torso. And then on the next inhale, bring the torso down, widen the knees for happy baby pose. If you want to do this again, you definitely can. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten both legs, nice and strong. Inhale here. Exhale, draw the lowest ribs toward the hips. Keep that head and neck relaxed and just along for the ride. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the torso, bend the knees for happy baby pose. And just hang out in happy baby pose for a few breaths. You can rock a little bit. Some folks that have a lot of flexibility here, they can widen the knees and get a pretty deeper squat. You can hold on to your ankles, just not for the purpose of pulling, more of a bend in the knees, just to see how that feels. Oof. Happy baby pose, great stretch for the hips. Let's bring the knees back together and place the feet on the floor. Good job. Good job. Woo. Awesome. So, bridge pose. This is a great pose. In Sanskrit, it's pronounced Setubandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. So, with the knees bent and about hips width apart, you can line your ankles up underneath your knees with the toes facing straight forward. So we just don't want the feet way forward of the knees. And we don't want your heels all the way up to your butt if you're one of those people that have that flexibility. We want to draw the ankles in so they're about underneath the knee joints. And it's okay if you can't tell exactly. Go with what feels more comfortable to you. Both feet and knees hips width apart. Let's bring our arms next to us and tuck your shoulder blades towards each other underneath you. You'll feel this frees your neck a bit. And then we're going to bend the elbow like a robot, keeping our upper arms glued in towards our side. Chin slightly tucked, just a little bit. On the next inhalation, push into the bottom of your feet. Stretch your knees towards your feet to lift your tuchus up. A lot of muscles working here, but let's think about our back muscles. Tucking the shoulder blades just a little bit more to really feel that. Feel the shoulder blades coming together underneath you. As you press evenly into the feet, not just the outer edges, you can stretch the knees to the front of the room. You can feel as if the chest is inflating, moving towards the room behind your head, the part of the room behind your head. Great job. Inhale here. Exhale, lower one vertebrae at a time, opening up the shoulder blades a bit. Let's walk the feet as far apart as we can get them to go. So the knees and the feet are far apart off the edges of the mat. Relax the arms out to shoulder height or so, wherever's comfortable. Inhale here. Exhale, both knees over to the left. You're going to rock the pelvis over on the left side. So this is going to open up the front of the right hip. Can you feel that? This is called windshield wipers. And then we're going to inhale the knees back up, nice and wide apart, the feet and the knees. And exhale both knees over towards the right. This is going to rock this left side of your pelvis up and over towards the right. And then you can hold each side. If you really like the stretch for the front of the hip and the thigh, which is a great stretch, you can hold each side or you can move with this. Inhale, knees up. Exhale them over to the side. Inhale, knees up. Exhale them over to the other side. Inhale, knees up. Exhale over to the other side. Or you can hold it on each side. Sometimes I feel like doing it one way, sometimes another. So just depends. And then come on back, walk those feet in. We're going to do bridge pose one more time. So knees and ankles or feet are hips width apart, toes facing straight forward. You're going to bring your arms in towards your sides by tucking your lower shoulder blades underneath you so the neck remains long. You can keep your arms in this robot position with the upper arms in nice and tight, or you can straighten the arms by your sides, pressing your palms down. You can even hold on to the outer edges of your mat if you feel like you'd like to do that. Inhale here. As you exhale, I'm going to press into the back of my upper arms, press into my feet, stretch my knees toward my feet. So I want to keep tucking those shoulder blades underneath me so that I can feel this. This is an arching of the spine. Can you feel the whole spine arching? You can feel as you kind of press into the bottom of the feet. You can feel the lower back arching. And then as you draw the shoulder blades together, you kind of add in more of the upper or mid-back arching. It's as if the whole front of your body is rising up towards the sky like the top of a hot air balloon. This takes a lot of strength, right? There's a lot of muscles in the back side of our body, in our posterior chain. And getting these muscles strong so that we can have open muscles in the front of our chest and shoulders, it can be challenging. Breathe as normally as you can. And then when you're ready, again, widen the shoulder blades to bring yourself down one vertebrae at a time. You can keep the arms out to the sides if you like. So now you are going to inhale here and exhale both knees over to one side. You can feel your pelvis rock over now. The knees are closer together. They were wider apart last time. So you have both knees over to the right side. You can turn the head and look over the left shoulder as long as you're not lifting your chin up. Just try to keep it nice and neutral. It's a whole body twist. It feels good. And then looking back towards the ceiling, inhale the knees back up and exhale them over to the other side. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Your knees don't have to be in any special place. You can always put cushions or whatever next to your mat so that if your knees fall over to the side, they have something to rest on. That's okay too. Keeping the chin nice and parallel, I'm going to inhale and exhale, look over my right shoulder now. See if you can just let the body relax in the twist. You don't have to do anything special with the knees or the arms. See if you can let gravity and the weight of your body help you enjoy the position a little bit more. Just breathing. Back towards the ceiling when you're ready. Inhale and exhale. Bring the knees up. Great job. Bring the arms in. So I'm going to ask you to roll over onto your side. So roll over onto your side. This is a great thing to do. If you do yoga practice or you've been laying on the floor for whatever exercise, whatever you've been doing, when you're getting ready to come back up to seated position, or we're going to come back up to all fours real quick, you need to use the strength of your abdominals to help you sit up, not just the smaller muscles around the shoulders and the arms. So pull the belly button in towards the spine as you're ready and kind of help lift up, pulling the belly button up as you come up to the seated position. So let's go to all fours and finish with some cat-cows, which is where we normally start. But I love to finish practice with cat-cows. You can always pad your knees if you have a blanket nearby, or you can fold up the inner, you can fold your mat up, make a fold in the center, put your knees there. Knees are about hips width apart. Wrists are slightly forward of the shoulders, spreading the fingers. Inner elbow creases looking at each other. On the next inhalation, draw the shoulder blades, lift the heart, lift the tailbone, let that belly hang down. Feel the strength along the spine. You don't lead with the back of the head. Just let your head follow what your shoulder blades are doing here. On the next inhalation, pressing through your fingertips into the mat, round the spine by letting the tailbone lower between the thighs, widen the shoulder blades apart and relax the head. Take a few breaths here. It's like you're painting the whole front of your waist to the inside of your spine. And then you can move back and forth if you like, rolling the shoulders, lifting the tailbone. Take it nice and easy. Take a few breaths in cow pose, feeling the strength of that back. And then on either an exhalation or an inhalation, open the spine up towards the sky. Let the tailbone lower down between the thighs. Open up the shoulder blades away from each other. Relax the head down. And go back and forth. As you press down through the hands, you think about pressing down through the base of the thumb, the base of the index finger, and the pads of the fingers. It's as if the outer edges of the heels of your palm are kissing the mat, but the very center of your palm is lifted slightly. The elbow creases looking at each other and using the feeling of pressing away from the mat with those fingertips, at the base of those fingers. We create a little more stability for the smaller joint of the wrist and elbow. And back to the all fours position. Widen the knees just a bit here. You can bring the big toes together. It's up to you how wide apart you bring your knees. It's whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just going to sit those hips back towards our heels. If this is very challenging for you, take a blanket of your head nearby and lay it across the back of your calves and then sit back there, maybe more comfortable for you. And some people like their knees closer together in this child's pose. Start with the arms out in front, forearms come down, head comes down. You may want to use a block or a blanket to put your forehead on. If your forehead doesn't hit the floor, you can bring your arms in, stack your fists or one hand on top of the other, lay your forehead there. And just see if you can breathe easily enough. Breathe into the back of your lungs, into the whole back of your body. Just like cat pose, as we breathe into the back body in child's pose, we open up the back body. It kind of lifts up towards the ceiling a little bit. It rounds, the whole back body rounds. Breathe into the back of the lungs. Did you know that the majority of your breath occurs in the back of your lungs? Just some nice, long, easy breaths. one more. And drawing those hands in underneath those shoulders, move yourself back to all fours position. And come to seated on the floor once again, or if you like, you can lie down on your back. Shavasana is corpse pose or resting pose. It is normally done at the end of each yoga practice. So once you finish watching this video, you can lay back down on your mat and create Shavasana by putting a small pillow under your head, maybe placing like a extra rolled up mat or a blanket rolled up underneath the back of your knees, so you can kind of keep the knees a little bit bent, a little bit higher than the hips. Lying on your back on the mat, put a blanket over you, just create some relaxation in that Shavasana pose that you do on your own. And then come back to focusing on your breathing like we did in the beginning, and just see if you can get the body to kind of soften down, kind of find some equilibrium. Feel the floor underneath the back body, feel the air upon the front body. Breathe into the river that runs between the two. Or you can come into seated posture, sitting as tall as you can, bringing the hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me for yoga practice today. We did experience the 6 positions of the spine, which is a wonderful thing to do whenever you practice yoga. We did some back bending, some strengthening for our back body, for our abdominals, strength for the front body, and opening up the hips. So hopefully you'll feel good the rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining me for this yoga practice through Gilda's Club of Rochester. I really appreciate the opportunity to teach you, and I hope that you and your body are enjoying this. It's my sincere wish. I honor you, and I honor the divine teachers within all of you. May we all find peace, no matter what we are given. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for joining me.